forward, opening new doors and doing new things. Because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Look and think before opening the shutter.
Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way, and as you walk along the way, take the pride in how far you go, and have faith in how far you can go ever get. Hope you will always keep going, realizing the best in yourself, whatever the future holds.
So just one point to all those who've gathered here, who are going to step into their newer path. Be bold, be courageous, and be your best. It is often said that achievers are first believers. But I just want to say that all those of us who've gathered here in this fantastic arena are not just achievers and not just believers. We all are winners in our own esteem. Namaste, Adab, Assalamu alaikum to one and all of you gathered here for the graduation ceremony of 2K11 batch. Excelsior 2K17!
Ishavasya sarvam, yaktinja jagatyam jagat, tena tatvena bujjida, magrada kasya svidhanam. Yes, godness is around us. We seek it through various means, through different caste, religion. Ultimately, there is only one thing, the Almighty. So let's begin the program by seeking His blessings. I welcome Ms. Aditya and Krishna for the prayer.
Maitrim bhajada akhilar jetri Atmavadeva paranapi vashyada Atmavadeva paranapi vashyada Yuddham tyajada spardham tyajada Yuddham spardham tyajada pareshwar kramamakramanam tyajada pareshwar kramamakramanam maitrim bhajada akhilar jetri maitrim bhajada akhilar jetri Damyadadatta dayatam janadam Damyadadatta dayatvam janadam Shreyo bhuyat sakala jananam 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 Maitrim bhajata akhilar jetri Maitrim bhajata akhilar jetri
Light and darkness are two contrasting factors which symbolizes two different things, knowledge and ignorance. When light is brought into darkness, knowledge and ignorance power of removing it completely. So, to remove the darkness and to spread the light, let's move over to the lighting the lamp ceremony. I request all the dignitaries to take part in the lighting the lamp ceremony.
Next is the welcome speech. For that, I kindly welcome HS Secretary Mr. Dineep NP.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, doctors, faculties, staff, parents, and friends. Today, we take another leap, closer to service, away from selfishness, embracing humanity. We have waited for this day quite for few years. Through years, we have struggled, we learned, we experienced the pulse and heartbeats of life. This day, we are officially vowing ourselves for the service of humanity. Every day welcomes us with new experiences. The learning never ends. The word Excelsior means still higher. Yes, we have miles and miles to go. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Excelsior 2K17, the convocation ceremony of 2011 batch of Malabar Medical College. Today, we are honored with the presence of Dr. M.K.C. Nair, Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Health Science, who would be declaring the graduation today. Wholehearted welcome to the function, sir. A long pending desire has been fulfilled today with the presence of Dr. Marthanda Pillai, a well-known neurosurgeon. He is the first former national president and former vice president of the Indian Medical Association. On behalf of all who have gathered here, a genial welcome to you, sir. A hearty welcome to Sri Anil Kumar, the visionary chairman of Malabar Medical College. I feel happy to welcome Dr. P.V. Narayanan, our beloved principal, who will be delivering the presidential address today. Welcome, sir. A warm welcome to Dr. V.S. Akbar Sharif, pediatric surgeon and former principal of Malabar Medical College, our beloved Drona, who is here to lead the graduation oath today. Welcome, sir. And I welcome Dr. V.G. Pradeep Kumar, IMA State President. A warm welcome to you, sir. Next, I welcome Dr. Sudha Madam, Secretary of Sri Anjaneya Trust. Welcome, ma'am. We would not be here today with graduation caps and gowns, smiling with our beloved, without the help of our doctors, faculty, staff, and management of this institution. We gladly welcome all of you to this function. We are delighted to offer the most hospitable welcome to our parents, kith and kin, friends. Welcome one and all. Now, it's time to welcome the cynosure of the day, the graduating doctors of 2011 batch. Friends, this day is for you. Most cheerful welcome to one and all. Wishing you a gracious evening. Once again, a grand welcome to one and all to Excelsior 2K17. Thank you.
Thank you. A person who is considered to be an unbroken series of successful gestures. His faithfulness, even in smallest things, is the way he took to gain, maintain, and demonstrate the strength needed to accomplish something great. Next, I would like to invite Dr. P.V. Narayan sir, our dear principal, for the presidential address. So please.
Excellencies, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. M.K.C. Nair, Padma Shri Marthanda Pillai, our Chairman, Mr. Anil Kumar, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, guest, Dr. Akbar Sharif, our former principal, Dr. Sudha, graduates from this institution, faculties, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all who gathered here. It's a great pleasure for me to stand before you in presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor for the convocation ceremony of 2011 batch of Malabar Medical College, who is graduating this day, the second batch of our institution. In the presence of Padma Shri Marthandapilla also is a great occasion because he is coming all the way from Trivandrum, being a guest of honor to take part in this program. Our VC, Dr. M.K. Senayar, is very particular that he should address the fresh graduates from all colleges under his control. And we had made a schedule also to reduce the expenses. The expenses that they are meeting in this type of program. So he wants to reduce the expenses to the minimum, and he wants to address our students who are going to become the asset of future. Our VC has a motto: in everywhere he is having the perfection. Even for this lamp lighting programs, he is having his own vision. For every minute aspects he takes interest, and he is having, prior to his appointment as VC of our Kuhas, he was there for counseling about 65,000 adolescents. That is on his credit. He wrote so many books on various aspects of adolescent counseling. And he is having PhD in one subject, that is developmental neurology. Even now, the university books, you will see that his handwritten letters are there, and we usually recommend this for the students to read. So this occasion is very, very remarkable for us, the fresh graduates, because we are blessed with these two eminent personalities. Dr. Pradeep, Dr. Akbar Sharif, your former principal, he is here to give the oath. I'm sure you all will be blessed with that words. Dr. Pradeep is none other than a neurologist here, and he is well-known IMA, the state president, and he is following the path of Dr. Marthandapilla. Marthandapilla is the first national president of IMA from southern region, and he is the first national vice president of IMA. So such a caliber is there for Dr. Marthandapilla. Now I take this opportunity to say the fresh graduates, you are the blessed students of our institution, the second batch. Now 132 students are passed out from this institution and they are graduating. I'll tell you one thing, you are blessed in one way because Malabar Medical College is the best sought after private institution with Medical Council permission for another 5 years and affiliated to the Kerala University of Health Science till this day. So all the students who are passing out from this institution will have the chance to get, I pray, for the post-graduation, yes, the branches you select. Because our academic excellence is very good. They are not at all or they are good in academics as well as they are in sports, other activities also. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to again come and say a few words about the getting sports activities. This is the first in Kuhas. This college is the first in sports activities in Kuhas. So he has to come again, sir, to convocate the sports students. So this way, we will never get disappointed. Our first batch students also, after passing, they were engaged in various colleges and hospitals. And few of them got even for the post-graduation. Now I request you to be with vision. You have to improve. With vision, you have to march. Because fresh graduates in MBBS has got a wide opportunity in India. You are well demanded and your presence is highly needed in the society. You have to work in rural areas where our people, poor people are living. They are serving us and you have to serve them. As usually we say, the bodies, dead bodies you are getting for study is by a poor man is giving his body voluntarily to you. From there you studied and you mastered, you became doctors. And your attitude should be to give something towards the society who gave you for this graduation. So you have to be with the community, be ready to serve the community after convocating this day. So you will be going to the community and you are supposed to be living with the community. So your communication skill, your act of understanding, as our VC will tell you how to counsel even the adolescents. He is the master in that field and he will tell you something about that. So I am sure this day is going to be a memorable occasion for us. Once again, this institution given you the ideas of how to become a perfect man, a perfect doctor at par with perfect man also. So I will tell you one thing, never stop learning and never stop asking questions. So your field is like that. It is different from other field, where in an arts college or any other engineering college, after study they can ignore their past day. But for you, in your curriculum is a starting point. So whatever you studied, you have to again and again recite it. Never avoid what you have studied. Always think about your staff, your teachers who have made you to up to this level. And again, you pray for your parents who gave you the strength to become doctors. So in this institution, you came as students. Now we are going out as doctors. So that much, I think our chairman needs a big applause for making this institution to give opportunities for 150 students to become doctors. And without this, will be no over. This 150 students who are getting admitted yearly is by the way of his vision and his spouse help. So I take this opportunity to congratulate Chairman and Madam Dr. Sudha for their magnanimity. Once again, I wish all these fresh graduates, and I take this opportunity to thank the organizers for making this a grand function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words. Next, the personality is a typical pattern of thinking, feeling, and behavior that make a person unique. When we say that someone has a good personality, we mean that they are likable, interesting, and pleasant to be with. Next, one among a person who owns this title, who is with us in all walks of our needs. I wholeheartedly welcome our dear Chairman, Engineer Anil Kumar Sir, for the Chairman's address. Sir, please.
Respected Vice Chancellor of the Kerala Health University, Dr. M.K.C. Nair, respected Padma Shri Dr. Marthandan Pillai, former IMA National President, respected Principal Dr. P.V. Narayanan, respected former Principal Dr. Akbar Sharif, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, IMA State President, and my beloved spouse, Dr. Sudha, and the VIPs of today, the passing out students of 2011 batch and their proud parents. My heartiest congratulations to you for all your success, all your efforts, and all your achievements in the past 5 years, and for having coming out with flying colors. Today is an important day in the history of this institution, wherein 132 graduates are passing out. The second batch, 2011 batch students are passing out from the portals of this institution. Today we are contributing, say 132 sparkling diamonds to the society. I'm sure that they are sparkling diamonds for the reason that our faculties have contributed so much. Our faculties, who are known as doyens of medical education, have made them as good doctors to stand before anybody and to be at par with such noble institutions of medical education. We are proud of you. We hope you will make us proud further in your future enlightenment for the society. Of course, this is a moment of pride. This is a moment of thanksgiving. This is a moment of acknowledgement to those whomsoever has helped you to achieve this goal, to achieve your dream, be it the faculties, be it the parents, be it the people right from the sweeper to the principal of the organization, whomsoever has helped you in achieving the dream. This is a thanksgiving moment. All of us know that this is not the end of your career. This is only a phase one. Further phase are to be achieved in life. Further miles are to be there to enrich your career and to go for specialties and super specialties in the years to come. To bless the occasion, as principal has rightly said, we are great personalities of medical fraternity. Dr. M.K.C. Nair, as all of us know, is the Vice Chancellor of Kerala Health University, is the man behind and instrumental in taking the Health University to the newer heights, to the zenith of excellence. Unlike previous years, the graduates of medicine and graduates of health science from Kerala are the most demanded these days, just because of the advent of the Health University, just because of the stand taken by the Health University in shaping the career, in giving higher quality of medical education. We are proud of you, Dr. M.K.C. Nair, sir, to reach a stage wherein Kerala Kerala as the place is the most sought after place in across India now for medical education and education in allied science. We hope in the days to come, the Kerala Health University will reach higher goals in its stewardship, and we are very much thankful for having spent your valuable and precious time to bless the graduates outgoing from our college. Then another personality of excellence is, of course, Dr. Marthandan sir. Of course, you know, there are many struggles for the medical graduates. There are now the exit exams. There are the encroachment of homeopathics and Ayurvedics. And so many issues are to be sorted out for keeping the prestige of modern medicine intact. So IMA is involved in the struggle to achieve all such big things for the modern medicine graduates. So these are the days wherein these exit exams are going to be introduced, and all of you know that IMA is in the struggle to see that such exit exams are not being introduced for Indian medical graduates. So we should all give a big clap for Dr. Marthandan Pillai and of course Dr. Pradeep for their struggle to achieve the status for Indian medical graduates, and their struggle to see that you are not being sidelined and you are given all such status and privilege what are to be given to you. So I hope Dr. Pradeep, who is following the footsteps of Dr. Marthandan Pillai, will be the next national president of IMA, and the medical graduates coming out from various colleges, would be beneficious due to the initiatives taken by them to see your profession, see your graduation intact. See, I am not the person to advise you on this occasion, as the big luminaries of medical education are there to advise you, to guide you. Still, I wanted to say just two more lines before I stop my address. One thing is about the communication of doctors. I've seen from the past history of 10 years of existence of our hospital, I have seen bright doctors are not able to make up to the expected level just for want of communication. Just for the reason that they do not find, they're unable to understand the patient. They don't have the idea about the level of patients, the knowledge about the patients, and the knowledge about the patient's background. So, I request all our medical graduates to be more communicative to the patients, to be more interacting with the patients, and to see that you achieve the best level of your profession by interacting properly with the patients. Of course, there were so many sayings about the manhandling of doctors. The manhandling of doctors, of course, happened mainly due to the reason that they do not communicate with the patients. The communication skill of the doctors are much behind than what is expected. So that is one aspect. Second, of course, is a kind of humor. We know you all have to be sober, be addressing a kind of terrific moments, sadness, to address the patients in problems. So in such situation, if you wanted to maintain your intactness, you have to have a sense of humor. You have to have a smile all along. Dr. Akbar Sharif, of course, you can see even at this age, he is performing wonders as a pediatric surgeon. Just because of his kind of approach, just because of his kind of humor. So I wish all the medical graduates going out of our institution are keeping the style of what Dr. Akbar Sharif has followed. I don't want to have further lengthening of my speech. I wish all of you to be colorful in your life. Just one more mention I would make before closing. That is about, I am posing a question before the IMA dignitaries and of course before the Vice Chancellor. Whether a reservation for boys is required to MBBS course. You can see out of the 132 graduates who are passing out today, 100 are lady doctors. So, do we have to have a reservation? A day is not far wherein we are going to have that kind of surgeons who devote 24 hours for the welfare of the patients. That kind of physicians who contribute very much, forgetting about their family, forgetting about their children, who are able to contribute for the welfare of the patients. Ladies also must be. But if you ask all these lady doctors whom you wanted to be, which specialty you wanted to be, all would say that, sir, I would like to be a dermatologist. At the most, I would like to be an ENT surgeon or an ophthalmologist, or I would like to be a non-clinical thing. So, a moment has reached wherein the authorities have to decide whether a gender reservation for boys is required for MBBS course. With all this, I expect, and once more congratulate you. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next, MD in Pediatrics, PhD in Developmental Neurology, MBA. He is a Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Health Science, Thrissur. Interested in developmental pediatrics, adolescent pediatrics, adolescent, premarital, newlywed counseling, presently works as a consultant. He is a director and founder of Child Development Center, Trivandrum, National President of National Neonatology Forum, National Accredited Teacher in Management, Professor at Department of Pediatrics and Epidemiology, Government Medical College, Trivandrum. I invite Vice Chancellor Dr. M.K.C. Nair for the declaration of graduation ceremony with academic address. Sir, please.
As the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Health Science, I declare this graduation ceremony open. My address will be later after the graduation address.
Moving over to the most important part of this ceremony, I welcome Dr. Abhijit Verma R. Son of Mr. R. Rajagopala Verma and Mrs. Prasanna Kumari, coming from Haripad, Alapura. Best wishes for our upcoming doctor. Here comes Dr. Abhilash P. son of Mr. Dayanandan P. and Mrs. Lada P. coming from Farod. Good luck, Dr. Ablash. Next, we have Dr. Eben Muhammad Ramseen, son of Mr. Sadaruddin and Mrs. Nasrin, coming from Kollam. Wishing all the very best, Doctor. I welcome Dr. Adishri K. Daughter of Mr. Shivadasan and Mrs. Deba. She is engaged to Dr. Ejo Raj and is coming from Farooq. Good luck, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Agnes Nimisha. Daughter of Mr. Shivadasan and Mrs. Jeena, coming from Wayanad. Best wishes, Agnes. I welcome Dr. Ahalya P.S., daughter of Mr. Sudarshanan and Mrs. Radha Sudarshanan, coming from Pularampara. All the very best, Dr. Ahalya. I invite Dr. Aishwarya A., daughter of Mr. Devdas and Mrs. Shushama, coming from Pottamal. Good luck, Dr. Aishwarya. Here comes Dr. Ajay Shashi, son of Mr. P.G. Shashi and Mrs. Mini Shashi, coming from Calicut. Best wishes, Dr. Ajay Shashi. Next, I invite Dr. Akbar Arun A., son of Mr. S. Abdul Rahman and Mrs. Aisha Rahman. He's coming from Trivandrum. Best wishes, Dr. Arun. Here comes Dr. Alaka R., daughter of Mr. T.P. Rajan and Mrs. Padmini A.K., coming from Koilandi. Good luck, Doctor. Next, I invite Dr. Alona Mary George, daughter of Mr. C.V. George and Mrs. Marikuti George, coming from Kattapana, Idukki. Best wishes, Dr. Alona. I welcome Dr. Ambili Pillai, daughter of Mr. Satyan Pillai and Mrs. Parvati Satyan, coming from Mavelikara. Wishing all goodies to happen ahead, dear. Next, I invite Dr. Amira Ahmed, daughter of Mr. A.M.P. Kuny Ahmed and Mrs. Sajida, coming from Koilandi. Best wishes, Dr. Amira. Here comes Dr. Amina Kamal, daughter of Mr. Kamaluddin and Mrs. Sunija Kamal. She's the better half of Advocate Tarish Muhammad, coming from Alapura. Wishing a very bright future ahead. Here comes Dr. Amita Krishna, daughter of Mr. Krishna Das and Mrs. Prasija, coming from Narikuni. All the very best, Dr. Amita. Next, we have Dr. Ammu Dilip, daughter of Mr. Dileepan and Mrs. Suma are coming from Karunagapalli. All the best wishes, Dr. Ammu. Here comes Dr. Amrita Rajiv, daughter of Mr. Rajiv KV and Mrs. Sharmila PM, coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Amrita Rajiv. Next, we have Dr. Anaga Sethu Madhavan, daughter of Mr. Sethu Madhavan and Dr. A.K. Sharda, coming from Calicut University. Best wishes, Dr. Anagha. Here comes Dr. Anagha Manoj, daughter of Mr. Manoj Kumar and Mrs. Ladiga Manoj. Happily married to Mr. Drupad Charan, coming from Koilandi. May all your dreams come true, dear. Next, we have Dr. Anagha Murali, daughter of Mr. I.N. Muralidharan and Mrs. Ambiga Murali, coming from North Paravur, Ernakulam. Good luck, Dr. Anagha. Next, I invite Dr. Anjali Evi, daughter of Mr. Ambu Evi and Mrs. Jaydeep, coming from Neeleshwaram, Kasargod. All the very best, Dr. Anagha. Sorry, Anjali. Here comes Dr. Anjana Babu T. Daughter of Mr. Preman Babu and Mrs. Preeti, coming from Vadagara. Best wishes, Dr. Anjana. Next we have Dr. Anju K. Daughter of Mr. Vinod Kumar and Mrs. Vasanta, coming from Parapanangadi. All the very best, Dr. Anju. Next, we have Dr. Anju Sudesh Babu. Daughter of Mr. V. Sudesh Babu and Mrs. L. Shija, coming from Kollam. Wishing all the goodies to happen ahead, dear. Next, I invite Dr. Anjusha Evi, daughter of Mr. Venkatakrishnan and Mrs. Shamala, coming from Wayanad. Wishing you a bright future ahead, dear. I invite Dr. Anu Baby, daughter of Mr. Baby Isaac and Mrs. Maria Baby, coming from Kottayam. Best wishes, Dr. Anu Baby. I welcome Dr. Anupama Raj SR, daughter of Mr. V.V. Rajendran and Mrs. Sapita Kumari AK, coming from Faro. Wishing you a bright future, dear. I welcome Dr. Abarna CTV, daughter of Mr. Sriman V and Mrs. Indira CT, coming from Calicut. All the very best, Dr. Abarna. Here comes Dr. Apurva Vijayan, daughter of Dr. K.K. Vijay Raghavan and Mrs. Mridula CP, coming from Kutyadi. All the very best, Dr. Apurva. Here comes Dr. Ardra Rajendran, daughter of Mr. S. Rajendran and Mrs. Subhadra, coming from Perumbau. Best wishes, Dr. Ardra. Next we have Dr. Ashina Badar, daughter of Mr. Muhammad Badruddin and Mrs. Sajida Badruddin, happily married to Mr. Azhar Abdul Khader, coming from Karnagapalli. Wishing all the goodies to happen ahead, dear. Next we have Dr. Asila Puttalan, daughter of Mr. Abdul Aziz and Mrs. Sakina, better half of Dr. Rizwan Singh, coming from Calicut. Here comes Dr. Ashwati T, daughter of Mr. Venugopalan T and Mrs. Sadhana M. coming from Mukam, Calicut. All the very best, Dr. Ashwati. Next we have Dr. Ashwati B.I., daughter of Mr. Babu S.R. and Mrs. Induleka V.S. coming from Trivandrum. All the very best, Dr. Ashwati. Next we have Dr. Adira K., daughter of Mr. Dasan K. and Mrs. Girija coming from Calicut. Best wishes, Dr. Adira. Next we have Dr. Adul Vaisha Kochan Vijayan, son of Mr. K.N. Vijayan and Mrs. Usha Vijayan coming from Thrissur. All the very best, Dr. Adul. Here comes Dr. Avinash N., son of Mr. T.P. Narayanan and Mrs. Pragashini S. coming from Perambra, Calicut. Wishing all the goodies to happen ahead, dear. Here comes Dr. Aifa Nazar, daughter of Mr. Abdul Nasser and Mrs. Sahira Nazar coming from Peringatur, Talasheri. Best wishes, dear. Next we have Dr. Aisha B.A., daughter of Mr. Saidelvi Alangadan and Mrs. Subaida coming from Kondoti. Good luck, Dr. Aishabi. Here comes Dr. Aishwarya Mohana Krishnan, daughter of Mr. Mohana Krishnan and Mrs. Sandhya Vinod coming from Tirur. All the very best, Dr. Aishwarya. Here comes Dr. Beena A., daughter of Mr. Kunyikanan V. and Mrs. Ramani A. coming from Neeleshwaram, Kasargod. Wishing all the success, Dr. Beena. Next we have Dr. Benzina John, daughter of Mr. K.P. Johnny and Mrs. Elizabeth John coming from Wayanad. Good luck, Dr. Benzina. Here comes Dr. Binsi M. Elias, daughter of Mr. M.S. Elias and Mrs. Jessie Elias coming from Palakkad. Wishing all the success, Dr. Binsi. Here comes Dr. Bobia James, daughter of Mr. James and Mrs. Reena, better half of Dr. Prashant. She's coming from Thrissur. Good luck, Dr. Bobia. Here comes Dr. Chandini Bimal Dev. She's the daughter of Mr. Bimal Dev VS and Mrs. Bindu Bimal Dev, coming from Nedumbashiri Ernakulam. All the very best, Dr. Chandini. Here comes Dr. Chitra C. Nath, daughter of Mr. Raghunathan S. and Mrs. Chandra Mohini G, coming from Kollam. Good luck, Dr. Chitra. Next we have Dr. Chitra V, daughter of Mr. Ramachandran B and Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi V, coming from Alapura. All the very best, Dr. Chitra. Here comes Dr. Sibin Vincent, son of Mr. S. Vincent and Mrs. I. Jnana Pragashni, coming from Kottayam. All the very best, Dr. Sibin. Next we have Dr. Dharmaraj AJ, son of Mr. Jairaj AB and Mrs. Shija Jairaj, coming from Guruvayur. Good luck, Dr. Dharmaraj. Next we have Dr. Dilshada P, daughter of Mr. Yusuf Pulikal and Mrs. Shamsia, coming from Vengara, Malappuram. All the very best, Dr. Dilshada. Here comes Dr. Dineep MP, son of Mr. Gopalan MP and Mrs. Chandramadi, coming from Calicut. Wishing all the very best, Dr. Dineep. Here comes Dr. Divya Vasu, daughter of Mr. Vasu CK and Mrs. Prabhavati Vasu, coming from Kozhikode. Good luck, doctor. Here comes Dr. Elizabeth Roy, daughter of Mr. Roy Matthew and Mrs. Molly Roy, married to Mr. Tom Isaac, coming from Kottayam. All the very best, Dr. Elizabeth. Here comes Dr. Fatima Batul T, daughter of Mr. Ahmed and Mrs. Ramla, coming from Malappuram. All the very best, Dr. Fatima. Next we have Dr. Fatima Farsana Pulikil, daughter of Mr. Hamza Haji Pulikil and Mrs. Asia, coming from Vengara, Malappuram. Good luck, doctor. Next we have Dr. Fazna, daughter of Mr. U.P. Kunyi Ahmed and Mrs. V.K. Fauzi. Next we have Dr. Gayatri S., daughter of Mr. N. Shashikumar and Mrs. C.S. Girija, coming from Kottayam. All the very best, Dr. Gayatri. Next we have Dr. Gayatri T.R., daughter of Dr. T.P. Radhakrishnan and Mrs. Mini, coming from Alapura. All the very best, Dr. Gayatri. Next I invite Dr. Gijesh G.K., son of Mr. Krishnan and Mrs. Geeta, coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Gijesh. Here comes Dr. Gogul S.S., son of Mr. Shantakumar and Mrs. Shashilega, coming from Trivandrum. All the very best, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Gopika Mohan, daughter of Dr. Mohan Kumar and Mrs. Nisha Geet B.R., coming from Kannur. Best wishes, dear. Next we have Dr. Grishma Krishnan, daughter of Mr. T.I. Krishnan and Mrs. Preeta Krishnan, coming from Ernakulam. All the very best, Dr. Grishma. Next we have Dr. Hari Krishnan R. Menon, son of Mr. Rajan N. and Mrs. Saraswati P., coming from Palakkad. Wishing all the goodies to happen ahead, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Haripriya J.L., daughter of Mr. Jayachandran and Mrs. Nishi, coming from Calicut. Good luck, dear. Next we have Dr. Harishankar J.S., son of Dr. V.K. Sri Kumar and Dr. Jansi Sri Kumar, coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Harishankar.
Next, I invite Dr. Hasina KP, daughter of Mr. KP Abdul Rashid Bhai and Mrs. Maria Kuti. Happily married to Dr. Sharhan, coming from Palakkad. Best wishes to the upcoming doctor. Next, I invite Dr. Hasna P., daughter of Mr. Salahuddin and Mrs. Tahira, married to Mr. Abdul Latif, coming from Calicut. Best wishes, Dr. Hasna. Next, Dr. Jasna T., daughter of Mr. Majid T. and Mrs. Amina, better half of Dr. Mahroof, coming from Palakkad. Wishing you all the success, Dr. Jasnati. Next, I invite Dr. Jelna Mary, daughter of Mr. Francis and Mrs. Mariamma, coming from Kannur. All the very best to our budding Dr. Jelna Mary. Here I welcome Dr. Jessie Moore Joy, daughter of Mr. Soman Joy and Mrs. Seema Joy, soulmate of Mr. Sandeep Harilal, coming from Trivandrum. Best wishes to the upcoming doctor. Next, I invite Dr. Jisha Patros, daughter of Mr. Patros and Mrs. Agnes, married to Dr. Tinto Tony, coming from Trivandrum. Wishing you all the success and happiness, Dr. Jisha. Next, I welcome Dr. Joby BG, son of Mr. Babu and Mrs. Geeta, engaged to Miss Vaishnavi, coming from Calicut. All the very best wishes, Dr. Joby BG. Here comes Dr. Kalpa Pradeep, daughter of Mr. Pradeep Kumar and Mrs. Ratna Kumari, coming from Calicut. All the very best, Dr. Kalpa. Here comes Dr. Kavya M. Chandran, daughter of Dr. M. Chandran and Mrs. Suvarna Chandran, coming from Wayanad. Wishing you all the success, Dr. Kavya. Next comes Dr. Lynette Joy, daughter of Mr. Joy Kuti and Mrs. Lissy Joy, coming from Wayanad. All the very best wishes, Dr. Lynette. Here comes Dr. Manisha N, daughter of Mr. Ravindran N and Mrs. Anita N, coming from Mukam. All the very best wishes, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Manisha S, daughter of Mr. Surendran N and Mrs. E. Usha Devi, coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Manisha S. Next, I welcome Dr. Minnu S. Habib, daughter of Dr. Habib T.A. and Dr. Sheja Habib, coming from Perindalmanna, Malappuram. All the very best wishes, Dr. Minnu S. Habib. Here I welcome Dr. Muhammad Anshif Varodan, son of Mr. Abdul Ghafoor and Mrs. Amina B.A., coming from Palakkad. Best of luck, Dr. Muhammad. Here comes Dr. Muhammad Nibin N, son of Dr. M. Nazar and Mrs. Mini Nazar, coming from Alapi. May you have a very bright future, Dr. Muhammad. Here comes Dr. Mridula TV, daughter of Mr. TV Vishwanandan and Mrs. Shantakumari. She's coming from Calicut. All the very best wishes, Dr. Mridula TV. Now I welcome Dr. Muhammad Roshan M, son of Mr. Hussain KM AP and Mrs. Shahida, coming from Vadagara. All the very best wishes, Dr. Muhammad Roshan. Here comes Dr. Namita Mohan, daughter of Mr. Mohandas and Mrs. Radhika Mohandas. She is coming from Calicut. All the very best wishes to our budding Dr. Namita. Here comes Dr. Nitish V, son of Mr. Vijay Kumar and Mrs. Latika. He's coming from Kollam. Let success follow all through your walks, Dr. Nitish. Here comes Dr. Neetu K. Keshavin, daughter of Mr. K. K. Keshavin and Mrs. M. Anandavalli, and is engaged to Dr. Srijit, coming from Shornur. May you have a wonderful future ahead, Dr. Neetu K. Keshavin. Next, I welcome Dr. Nitish KP, son of KP Kunyaraman and Mrs. Leela, coming from Vadagara. Wishing you all the treasure of happiness, Dr. Nitish. Here I welcome Dr. Nikhil Augustine K, son of Mr. K.V. Augustine and Mrs. L.C. Augustine. He is coming from Angamali. All the very best wishes, Dr. Nikhil Augustine. Here I welcome Dr. Nishma M. John, daughter of Mr. John Bastian and Mrs. Rosalind Maggie John. She is coming from Kollam. All the very best wishes for all your new adventures and ventures, Dr. Nishma. Here comes Dr. Nia Surendran PV, daughter of Mr. PV Surendran and Mrs. Pramila PP. She is coming from Talasheri. All the very best wishes, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Nauf TP, son of Mr. Moideen P and Mrs. Asia, coming from Malappuram. Wishing you all the very success in all your deeds, Dr. Nauf. Here comes Dr. Ocean SR, son of Mr. Sridharan and Mrs. Reena, and she is coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Ocean. Here comes Dr. Parwana Vinod, daughter of Mr. R.S. Vinod and Mrs. Sandhya Vinod, married to Dr. Sandeep, coming from Trivandrum. All the very best wishes, Dr. Parwana Vinod. Here comes Dr. Peter Ando, son of Mr. Andrew Joseph and Mrs. Usha Ando, happily married to Dr. Sini Srinivas, coming from Thrissur. Wishing you all the very success ahead, Dr. Peter. Here comes Dr. Priyamol P, daughter of Mr. Mohanan Pillai and Mrs. Prasanna Kumari, engaged to Mr. Nipun Babu V, and she's coming from Kollam. All the very best, Dr. Priyamol. Here comes Dr. Ransila Noor KM, daughter of Mr. Mohammad Rafiq and Mrs. Shimla, married to Mr. Mohammad Abdul Hafif, coming from Changaramkulam. Let your future be bright and beautiful, Dr. Ransila. Here comes Dr. Rashid A, son of Mr. Kunyamat Ait and Mrs. Rabia. He's coming from Cherapuram. Good luck, Dr. Rashid. Here comes Dr. Ravina Ravindran, daughter of Mr. O.K. Ravindran and Mrs. Laila TV, engaged to Dr. Suraj, coming from Trikaripur, Kasargod. Wishing you all the success, Dr. Ravina. Here comes Dr. Renu Thomas, daughter of Mr. Dominic Thomas and Mrs. Sheelama Thomas. She is coming from Kottayam. All the very best wishes, Dr. Renu Thomas. Next, I welcome Dr. Rimya R.K., daughter of Mr. D. Ramesh Kumar and Mrs. G. Komalam, coming from Trivandrum. May Almighty shower all the blessings upon you, Dr. Rimya. Here comes Dr. Reshma Gopal, daughter of Ms. Rajama P.K. She's coming from Tiruvalla. Best of luck for your wonderful future, Dr. Reshma. Here comes Dr. Revati V., daughter of Mr. Shashidharan KP and Mrs. Renuka V., coming from Payyanur. A warmest congratulations on this auspicious day, Dr. Revati. Here I welcome Dr. Rinsi S., daughter of Mr. Shivadasan and Mrs. Reena G., and she's from Calicut. Have an amazing future, Dr. Rinsi. Here comes Dr. Rita Jose Noble, daughter of Mr. Noble Jose and Mrs. Molly Jose, coming from Calicut. Let your bright future always shines, Dr. Rita. Here comes Dr. Salwa Subair, daughter of Mr. Subair PK and Mrs. Ramla, coming from Calicut. Good luck, Dr. Salwa Subair. Here comes Dr. Sania Varghese, daughter of Mr. Varghese Koshi and Mrs. Tangamma Varghese, married to Dr. Sajan Babu, coming from Adur. May you have a cheerful career ahead, Dr. Sania. Now I welcome Dr. Sheetal Rose, daughter of Mr. Casey Joseph and Mrs. Tankam Jose. She is coming from Wayanad. All the very best wishes, Dr. Sheetal. Here comes Dr. Shakeen Khan, son of Mr. Maheen Khan and Mrs. Shajila. He is from Trivandrum. Good luck, Doctor. Here comes Dr. Shamima M., daughter of Mr. Mohammed and Mrs. Zainaba. She is from Calicut. Let your bright future always shines, Dr. Shamima. Here comes Dr. Shan S., son of Mr. Sharafuddin and Mrs. Rehanat from Trivandrum. May your dreams come true, Dr. Shan. Here comes Dr. Shibila Nargis, daughter of Mr. Ilyas and Mrs. Hazina, married to Dr. Saidalavi and coming from Kotikil. All the very best, Dr. Shibila. Here comes Dr. Shilpa Jose, daughter of Mr. M.D. Joseph and Mrs. Beena Joseph, coming from Nedumbasheri, Ernakulam. Let all your deeds bloom in success, Dr. Shilpa. Dr. Shilpa V., daughter of Mr. Velaidan Kuti and Mrs. Shyamala Kumari. She's coming from Malappuram. Good luck, Dr. Shilpa. Here comes Dr. Shintu S.S., daughter of Mr. Santosh Kumar and Mrs. Sumukhi Kumari, coming from Trivandrum. Best wishes, Dr. Shintu. Here I welcome Dr. Sri Lakshmi Pradeep, daughter of Dr. N. Pradeep and Mrs. Pushpalata Pradeep, married to Dr. Akshay, coming from Palakkad. Let your bright future shines like a bright star, Dr. Sri Lakshmi. Here comes Dr. Sini Srinivas, daughter of Mr. Srinivasan and Mrs. Bindu Srinivas, happily married to Dr. Peter Andrew, coming from Perindalmanna. All the very best wishes, Dr. Sini. Here comes Dr. Sonia Wilson, daughter of Mr. Wilson W.T. and Mrs. Valsamma P.G., coming from Kuttarakara. Let all your dreams come true, dear. Here I welcome Dr. Sri Devi V.S., daughter of Mr. V.S. Vishnu Nambudiri and Mrs. S. Saraswati, married to Dr. M.G. Parameshwaran, coming from Kudamalur, Kottayam. May all your days be wonderful and healthy, Dr. Sri Devi. Here comes Dr. Sri Kiran, son of Mr. P.K. Ravindran and Mrs. Nimi Case. He's coming from Calicut. All the best wishes, Dr. Sri Kiran. Here comes Dr. Sri Lakshmi R., daughter of Mr. Ramakrishna Pillai and Mrs. Retna Kumari Amma, coming from Kayamkulam. Wishing you all the success and prosperity, Dr. Sri Lakshmi. Next, I welcome Dr. Shruti M. Nair, daughter of K.P. Narayanan Kuti Nair and Mrs. A.R. Jayasri, from Collingwood, Palakkad. All the very best wishes to our budding Dr. Shruti. Next, I welcome Dr. Suhana N.J., daughter of Mr. Nazaruddin A. and Mrs. Jasila H.M., married to Dr. Khalil Yusuf, and she is from Trivandrum. All the very best wishes, Dr. Suhana. Here I welcome Dr. Swati C.S., daughter of Mr. C.R. Shankaranarayanan and Mrs. Geeta P.S. from Thrissur. All the very best wishes, Dr. Swati. Here comes Dr. Shweta Shivaraman, daughter of Mr. Shivaraman and Mrs. Prasita. Happily married to Dr. Vaishak, and she is from Payoli. Best wishes, Dr. Shweta. Here comes Dr. Taslima Shahnaz, daughter of Mr. Muhammad Akbar and Mrs. Amina. Married to Dr. Unais. She is from Uttapallam. Wishing you all the very bright future ahead, Dr. Taslima. Here comes Dr. Vaishagi Muralidharan, daughter of Mr. Muralidharan and Mrs. Suchitra Muralidharan from Perindalmana. May success be with you and good luck, Dr. Vaishagi. Here comes Dr. Vaishnavi Narayanan, daughter of Mr. Narayanan and Mrs. Bhanumati. She's engaged to Dr. Joby Biji, coming from Edappa. All the very best wishes, Dr. Vaishnavi. Here comes Dr. Varkichan Punnacheni, son of Mr. P.V. Anthony and Mrs. K.K. Sina from Thuruvur, Angamali. Let all your dreams come true, Dr. Varkichan. Here comes Dr. Varun Krishnan G, son of Dr. M.G. Gopalakrishnan and Dr. S. Maya from Thrissur. All the very best wishes, Dr. Varun. Here comes Dr. Vasant Lal, son of Mr. Vasu and Mrs. Tankama from Calicut. May you come out with flying colors, Dr. Vasant Lal. Here comes Dr. Vipin Dinesh KP, son of Mr. Dinesh and Mrs. Tulasi Dinesh from Parapanangadi. All the very best wishes, Dr. Vipin. Here comes Dr. Vishnu Hari Kes, son of Mr. Shashidharan and Mrs. Rima K from Uttapallam. Wishing you all the success and happiness ahead, Dr. Vishnu.
Respect people who will find time for you in their busy schedule. Love people who never look at their schedule when you need them. ഈ വ്യക്തിയോട് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്നേഹവും ബഹുമാനവുമാണ്. ഇവിടുന്ന് പോയ ടൈമിൽ കയറിയ ബാച്ചിന് പോലും ഇഷ്ടമായിട്ടുള്ള ആ ഡിയർ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ ഒരൊറ്റ വാക്ക് മതി വിശേഷിപ്പിക്കാൻ. ദ്രോണ. യെസ്, I would like to invite our dear principal, Dr. Akbar Sharif sir, to give away the graduation oath. So please.
Yes, all of you have to stand up. Hold your hand like this, right hand. I'll read out the oath, you have to repeat. Okay? Are you all ready? Yeah, we'll start. I solemnly pledge myself to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I'll give to my teachers the respect and gratitude which is their due. I'll practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I'll respect the secrets which are confined in me even after the patient has died. I'll maintain by all the means in my power the honor, the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my brothers. I will not permit considerations of religion, nationality, race, party politics, or social standing to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for the human life from the time of conception. Even under threat, I will not use my medical knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Jai Hind. Now, you are admitted to the medical profession. You can turn the direction of the cap to the opposite side. Thank you. Thank you.